Deal channel. Let me know if you guys can hear me, because I don't want to be talking for 10 minutes and nobody hears my voice. Can anybody hear my voice? Anybody keeping up with what's going on with the popularization of drag queen story hour? What's up with that? Why can't life be simple? Why can't we leave the kids out of stuff? What is going on? Oh my goodness. What's up, Real Truth? That guy, Scott, 5x5 CUDA. All right, good deal. You ever get to the point in life where things just weigh you down? We're going to talk about a couple things tonight. The highlight's going to be Long Island Audit got arrested, and we're going to take a look at the events that actually led up to that, which was pretty interesting. It escalated quite quickly. And this is just an example. And I know that there may be some people out there going, man, it's using somebody else's videos to talk over it. I think it's instructional, it's informative, it's educational. You know, there are people out there that might decry it, and knowledge is power. And if we can acquire some knowledge and we can put that knowledge into practice, then you have wisdom, because that's what applied knowledge is. Applied knowledge is wisdom, and I think the world needs some more wisdom so that we can push back the grubby hands of tyranny and tyrants. Hey, thanks WCMW. Yeah, like and share this video with everybody you know if you like this content right here. Eventually, I would like to talk about this right here. Has anybody been keeping up with this? Kind of hard to jump in the fray on that, at least for me. Maybe not for some, but definitely for me, because you know, I like both of these people. And I hate making a choice like that. But then, you know, truth demands that you take a look at things sometimes and, you know, pick a side. So I don't want to be wishy-washy on that kind of stuff. Thanks, ANCAP Gamer. Informative and fun. All right. Hey, good to see you too, Golden Rule TV. I was looking at some of the stats under this video right here, and I don't know if you guys have this little plug-in, this extension called... It's called, I always get the name wrong. It's called Restore. Oh yeah, Restore YouTube Dislike. If you have the plugin for Firefox or for Chrome, I'm on Firefox on this screen, Chrome on this screen. But if you have the plugin to Restore YouTube Dislike, you can see what the actual dislikes are, because as you know, YouTube took the dislike option away. But you can look behind the scenes with that program, and it'll pretty much tell you what's going on. I don't like to pick a side on this kind of thing right here. So, and there's a lot of recorded messages that need to be gone through. There's a lot of video that needs to be gone through. You know, certain people say certain things in the heat of the moment, or the camera's on, and they say things that they probably didn't mean, but then it's too late to take it back, and then people take it personally, and then feelings get hurt, and then ad hominems start flying, and then feelings get hurt again, and then we're so far down the road, and then it polarizes everybody in the community. Although if you use the word community, then you're going to get condemned, because this isn't really a community. I hate calling it. Okay. For lack of a better term, let's call it the transparency community, or the First Amendment community. What I want is peace. I think we should all be coming together. Guys, there's a lot of things that are not talked about in these transparency channels. So I'll just go ahead and bring it over on this transparency channel, because that's what this is supposed to be. We got the Great Reset. The World Economic Forum Great Reset is in full swing right now, in case you haven't heard. This is the Great Reset, Fourth Industrial Revolution. You'll own nothing and be happy. Oligarchs aligned against us to transfer more wealth and power from us as we're bickering among ourselves. So the last thing I think we should probably be doing is bickering among ourselves. I want, there was no poster 7 in this video with Long Island Audit. But I think we should be coming together, because, you know, there's a reason mainstream media is distract, deceive, divide, dehumanize, and demoralize, so that they can conquer us. And we're only a conquered people if we stay separated into our own little factions. That's why the Republican and Democrat parties, the two-party, lie paradigm, is so powerful and effective at propagating people and getting into their minds and reworking the rewiring of our minds so that we can stay divided against each other. That's what I hate about Republicans versus Democrats. I hate the entire political party. As we always say, politics is the clever and deceptive art of using euphemisms, lies, emotionalism, and fear-mongering in order to dupe average people into accepting and even demanding the chains of their own enslavement. When you're involved in politics, you can't be about the business of humanity. The overlords, the slave masters on this plantation, and we are on a plantation. There are tyrants that rule in our sphere. We got to do something about it. And it'd be better if we all did something about it together instead of separating. But then I also understand the dynamic of, this person said this and you can't take it back. You could apologize and you could reset and go on. But, sometimes ego, we all have an ego. We all have a pride, and we all, you probably need to be taken down a notch or two or three. And then when you've been taken down a notch or two or three and you think you've arrived, well, you probably need to be taken down one more notch. And I don't mean decimated to the point where nobody needs to listen to what you ever have to say again. I'm just saying, eat some humble pie. We all need to eat some humble pie. So I hate to put a 1 in the room if you want me to even discuss this right here. I think on the one hand, I don't want to do it. On the other hand, it probably is something that should be done. I think there's a lot of emotions involved in this. There's a lot of accusations that are being cast. There's a lot of unnecessary ad hominems that are taking place. There's a lot of feelings that have gotten hurt. And I understand we're all human beings. That kind of stuff is going to happen. But if you want me to, maybe at a later date, maybe tomorrow or the day after, just do a live stream on this. What I would like to do, and I hope Chili doesn't take this video down, what I would like to do is go over some of the comments in the comment section. I think it would be beneficial to see what other people are saying, just so that we can kind of gauge, maybe, kind of be like a weather vane. Try to determine what, how some people are reacting to this. That's a lot of ones. It's a lot of ones. All right. I'll try to remember to do this. I hope he doesn't take this down. This is Chili's backup channel called Chili's Backup. I don't have, I've got my problems. I've got my own problems with how I convey myself sometimes. You know how you do something and maybe it was recorded. A lot of my stuff's recorded and you look back and you're like, man, I shouldn't have said that, or I shouldn't have said it that way. What was I thinking when I said that? And then we all adjust our thinking, because let's be honest, guys, we're all on a journey, okay? We're all on a journey, and we all have biases. Some people are biased toward James Freeman and they'll be on his side no matter what. Some people are biased toward me and they'll be on my side no matter what. It shouldn't be that way. We should all be objective, because if we're going to be, if we're going to have such deep-rooted biases that we're going to pick somebody's side no matter what, that doesn't do you any good. That doesn't do me any good if you're biased toward me, because how am I ever going to, that means I'm almost sure to be solidified in my own echo chamber if people just start agreeing with me, and then I surround myself by a bunch of yes men. That doesn't do anybody any good, including me. It may be comfortable to be in your own echo chamber. Just download that video just in case. Oh, that's a good idea. That is a good idea. Let's see. Yeah, let me download this. Why didn't I think of that? See, none of us is greater than all of us. The most simple thing, sometimes it's like you're blinded to it. You may only be blinded to it momentarily. Let's see if it's downloading right now. But you're still blind to it, and then somebody else comes along and goes, hey, have you considered this? Like AnCap Gamer. Hey, why don't you download that thing? Good idea. Didn't even think about it. Good idea. We all need each other, guys. Whether we realize that or not. One of the most detrimental things that could happen to you or me is this is an extreme example, but one of the worst things that could happen to us is get locked in solitary confinement away from the rest of society. Have no link to another human being. You literally will go crazy in a very short period of time. That's how desperately we all need each other. It may not be as desperate as you needing that next it may not be as desperate as you needing that next breath of air. It might not be as desperate as you needing that next drink of water. Without air, you'll die in 3 minutes. Without water, you'll die in 3 days. Without food, you'll die in about, a month. A lot of people can go a month, 40 days. It may not be as desperate as that, or it may not be as obvious, but we need each other. We need each other. To say that you don't need somebody else is to be basically pretty pompous, pretty proud, which is interesting because it's Pride Month. Pride is not what you want. You don't want to be proud. You don't want to be proud. You want to be humble. The opposite of pride is humility. Humility is what's going to make advancements toward goodness in this world. Pride is what's going to make advancements toward evil in this world. Pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. I see a lot of in this kind of situation right here. And like I said, I like both of these guys right here. There's pride, there's ego, there's not willingness to like relent a little bit and give a little bit. Like people want to win an argument. Okay, win the argument. Win the argument. That's okay. You can have it. I sound like chili. That's fine. That's fine, Direct D. I want peace. I want peace. I want to be just for the truth. That's all I want to be for. I want this community to be powerful. I want to push back the tides of tyranny. I'm an anarchist. I'm not a statist. I don't think that government should be in control. We've already seen how that happens. We see how that works. Nobody has a higher claim over your life and property than you. Nobody has the right to initiate unjust force and violence on peaceful people who haven't done anything wrong. I think people's feelings have gotten hurt in this. James says it respectfully, it was just comedy for me. And I listened to this video right here, and James had said maybe my trolling went a little bit too far. That's what I'm talking about. That's the example of, hey, let's give a little bit. Maybe I did go too far. Let's look at this thing from different perspectives. Again, as far as I stand right now, I still like both of these guys. I have my biases toward both of them. It's like I don't want to choose. I don't want to choose, you know? I've unsubbed every channel that's bashed, says Truth Seeker. So anyway, that's where I stand on this. I just want peace. And I also understand that in the minds of a lot of people, it's like, that sounds so weak, Brian. You just want peace because you're not man enough to pick a side. It's like the side I pick, I want to make sure it's the right side. The side I pick, I want to make sure it's the moral high ground. The side I pick, I want to make sure that it does the most amount of good for the most amount of people. That's where I stand on that. So yeah, we'll do a live stream on this. Let's say, how about tomorrow? Does tomorrow work for you? What's today? Today is today Thursday? Yeah, today's Thursday. So why don't we do this live stream on this tomorrow? Hopefully this is still up. The reason I want this to be up is not just to go over the video, but to actually go over what people are saying in the comment section. Right now we're going to go into God, I mean no ill will. I don't want to do any damage. Your comments don't reflect well on you. Can you explain? Can you explain? Anyway, I know it's, you know, another thing that I personally struggle with is I don't want to be a man pleaser, but I know that is in me. So, you know, just to lay it all on the table, I'm a human being. I'm fallible. I'm subject to bias. I'm subject to wrong. I'm subject to doing stupid stuff. So I want to give people grace, the same grace that I want to extend to other people. I like Direct D. I like James Freeman. I like, constitutional auditors in the room. A lot of people spoke out against Long Island audits for a particular reason about, going to the cops and, in the minds of some placating. But we'll go. Let's go ahead and get into this video right here. I didn't really mean to spend that much time on it, but since there were so many ones in the room, we will go over this video right here tomorrow. I don't know what time, but I'll try to give you guys enough lead time to where we can all just kind of talk about it. Because like I said, none of us is greater than all of us. I wanted to go over this 4-minute video real quick from DC Shorts. Check out this pullover and you tell me what you think about how the cop handled this and how the operator of this vehicle handled this.
Hello, how you doing? I'm Sergeant Cutright, Bentleyville Police. The reason I'm stopping you is your tags are expired on this vehicle.
I'm working on it.
Okay, do you have a driver's license, proof insurance?
No.
You don't have a driver's license or insurance on you?
No. I just got a job, dude. I'm just beginning to make money.
What's your social?
Can I leave?
No, what's your social? What's your question?
Going to work tomorrow?
That's up to you. I don't know. What's your social?
You're harassing me.
What's your social?
You chose to harass me.
What's your social?
You
What's your name?
Now I want to stop this right here because a lot of people under this video, look at this video. It's got 45,000 views. It's got 2,300 likes and only 4 dislikes because people, for the most part, are completely on the side of the cops because the cops admittedly come off a little cool, but this guy is right. The only reason we're having this interaction, which I can't personally get out of, I'm talking about from the perspective of this guy. When a cop pulls you over, you can't just say, hey, I don't want an interaction with you. Can you just go away? They won't do it. They're going to force themselves into your life. So this guy's right. You're here harassing me. I didn't ask you to come over here. You came over here. And the only reason they came over here is because his license plate is out of date.
Nice day. I'm having a nice day. Just leave.
Okay. This is where he's going to go nuts when he finds out the car's getting towed. Yeah, have you step out of the vehicle for me, okay?
Why, dude?
Because vehicle's got to get towed.
Vehicle's got to get towed. I've got to harass and collect from you. I'm just following the laws. I don't write the laws. I just follow them. I just obey them. Hey, don't blame me. Blame the people who wrote the laws. I'm just a checked out order follower who's going to impound your vehicle and actually economically terrorize you for no frickin' reason other than, oh, the state told me that you need a little tag on your license plate. That you need a license plate. That you need a license to drive. Aren't you an adult? Why are you asking permission from the government to drive?
Suspended. You have a warrant out of the Metro Parks.
You're a monster.
No, call me what you will.
That's true.
All right? But still, you can't drive suspended.
Can you absorb that?
And the reason I hate being on this guy's side right here is because he goes totally, it's like he's a leftist loony. But a lot of things that he's saying is absolutely correct. But people who are too busy licking boots, people who are too busy in the blue line cult cannot see it from this guy's perspective. This guy is literally being victimized, and whether he melts down or not, to me, is completely irrelevant. Who initiated the harassment? That's my question.
Instead of being like all...
No, it's absorbed. All right? So we're going to have you step out for me, all right?
I don't even have
You're not the registered owner.
That, bro.
You're not the why? Let me ask you something. Why are you driving then? You're not driving to work. You're driving
Because
to
I have
the
a
park.
life!
Calm down.
I have a life.
All right?
Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I have hobbies. I have people I like to see.
Okay, well, other people have to register a vehicle. Why makes you different than anybody else? Why? Why are you special and everybody else has to obey rules? Can you tell me that?
It's not about the rules.
Everybody has to obey rules. That's what I got against the rule of law. Who makes the rules and who's going to enforce the law? That's what I have a problem with. That's what I have a problem with this social contract thing. I didn't sign it. So how can it be binding on me if I didn't agree to it? That's what I have a problem with. This kind of all goes back to that right there. And as embarrassing it is to watch this guy act, just all psycho, I can't argue with a lot of what the guy says. And because, like I said, because people are immersed in the cult of personality and too busy bending down, licking the boot of these cops, they're going to look at you going, oh, what are you, leftist libtard? What are you, a retard or something?
What is it about that?
It's about the rules being wrong. Do you have a life?
Okay.
Yep.
No, I don't. Apparently I don't. Okay.
Are you sure?
I'm sure of that. Okay.
Things you do?
I can even give you a courtesy ride back up to your mom's.
Yeah, that'd be lovely.
Well, we're doing the best we can here. Okay.
It's like, hey, getting home and telling the kids, telling the family, hey, I had a great interaction today. I had an absolutely respectful road pirate come along. Oh yeah, where's the car? Oh, he impounded it, but he gave me a ride back to the house. People going, well, this law enforcer was so professional, but he was professionally criminal. He was so nice. Yeah, but he was being a criminal. The carjacker was, just top notch. I rate him 10 out of 10. Yeah, but he was being a criminal. And he foisted the criminal action against you. And you didn't have any choice because they would have called the unlimited resources of the state. They would have put helicopters in the air. They would have put dogs on the ground. They would have pursued you to the end of the earth just because you didn't have the proper tag on your license plate. Or because you resisted your car being impounded because you can't afford to get it out of impound because the economy's so bad. Nice, professional, courteous. But he was a courteous criminal.
The best you can do is not enough.
Well, and what your best you could do is just let you drive away and just never to bother you.
Yes.
Just free to go, do whatever you want, right?
That would be nice.
It doesn't work that way, Edison, all right? So
Don't.
don't
These are my
let go of my.
These are my possessions.
You're about to go to jail.
These are my
You want to go to
possessions.
jail? Do you want to go to jail? I'm asking you. Do you want to go to jail? Right now. Either step out the car now.
What's the option, bro? What's the other option? Pull me out, bro.
You don't have one. That's the problem with statism. You don't have another option. You can't opt out of that. You can't get away with this. At least with a common criminal, you can shoot back with no, abiding repercussions. You shoot back right here, you defend yourself right here, you're going down, and the state will make sure that you go down because they can't have another example out there of somebody getting away with resisting the government and winning. I can see on the other side, from the bootlicking perspective, why people would be against this guy operating this vehicle right here. I can see why. But they're wrong, because the criminal activity was not initiated. As bad as this guy's attitude might be, as hilarious it is to watch him being a male Karen, he's still got a point, and he's still the one being aggressed against. And this is an example of removing yourself from the cult of personality to the point where you know that if you stand on this guy's side because he's the one that's being victimized, a whole bunch of people, I mean, look at this, 2,382 people liked this video and 4 disliked it. And most of the comments right here are applauding the cops. I don't know how the cops have that much patience. Man-child, sad generation. Yeah, did you consider that he's getting victimized by the road pirates? These cops showed amazing restraint. Restraint in what? Being the road pirates? Restraint in initiating the criminal activity? So I understand the repercussions of being on this guy's side, because he makes himself kind of look bad and he kind of does look like a snowflake. He's still right. I'd rather be a snowflake on the moral side of humanity than be the aggressor in a uniform, badge, and a gun on the immoral side of humanity.
Push me out. Pull me
You're
out.
going to get tased.
Ooh.
You're going to go to jail. Stop it.
And we do not want to arrest you right now.
Don't want to arrest you.
So what's the alternative?
Well, come on out the car so we could talk
That
about
is
the
the
alternatives.
That's not the
All
alternative. So you're
right.
towing my car.
Your car's going to be towed, yeah.
Wrong.
You're gonna go to jail.
Wrong.
Hello.
Step out of the
Come
car.
on tight, bro. Yeah.
Step
Pull
out
me
of
by
the car.
cup, bro. Yeah.
Step out of the car. Stop being like
Grab
this.
my other arm, bro.
You really need to grow up.
As snowflakey as this guy's being, he's actually showing more bravery standing in the face of tyranny than these cowards with uniforms, badges, and guns.
I haven't
You
assaulted
really-
you, bro.
You really
Can I
need
tell
to
you
grow
that?
up.
Can I tell you
You
that?
really need to grow up. Knock it.
Yeah. Eye for an eye, brother?
Watch him vandalize this cop car with the handcuffs.
Oh, that's nice.
He just used the handcuffs and scraped the side of the car.
You're fortunate.
Knock it off.
Look at that.
Holy cow.
So the man who did nothing wrong, the man who was just sitting there in his car, driving down the road, not harming anybody, was charged with vandalism, obstruction, obstructing official business, driving under suspension, and expired plates. And that's our world. And somebody mentioned something in the chat room just now about Supreme Court decisions. Even the rogue tyrants of the Supreme Court have admitted in case after case after case that you are not required, as somebody who's not working for the company or an employee for the company, to be an operator of a vehicle or a traveler down the road. It says complete freedom of the highways is so old and well established a blessing that we have forgotten the days of the robber barons and toll roads, and yet the highways may be completely monopolized if through lack of interest the people submit. That's why these channels are so freaking important, because you're exposing the tyranny and you're highlighting people who are resisting and not submitting to the tyranny, which is something that we all must do 100% of the time without fail. Then they may look to see the most sacred of their liberties taken from them one by one by more or less rapid encroachment. This right here, that was Robertson versus Department of Public Works, VA Supreme Court, Thomas versus Smith. The right of a citizen to travel upon the public highways and to transport his property thereon by horse-drawn carriage, wagon, or automobile is not a mere privilege which may be permitted. That's what a license is, guys. So this is another example of law enforcers not even obeying their own laws. This is stuff that comes out of Supreme Court case law. It's not a mere privilege which may be permitted or prohibited at will, like these cops were doing. These cops rolled up on this guy right here to prohibit his right, not his privilege, to prohibit his right to travel freely and unmolested on a public roadway. But a common right, the Supreme Court calls your ability to take your vehicle from point A to point B on the public roadways a common right, not a privilege that requires permit and cannot be prohibited at will. So basically what you got here is the cops are violating 18 U.S.C. 242, deprivation of rights under color of law. Oh, you disobeyed our law, so we're going to deprive you of your rights. So much law, so much of their own law. Just keep natural law aside because they don't care about natural law. But even their own laws, they will not obey. What if you had a scrapbook of case law after case law? What if you showed them 18 U.S.C. 242? Don't deprive my right, not my privilege. Don't deprive my right to travel unmolested and unpermitted. I don't need your permission to travel on the public roadways, says the Supreme Court. Oh, are you higher than the Supreme Court? Of course in that moment, if it works in their favor, of course they're going to say yes, of course. We have to follow our state laws. We have to issue threats of force and violence and economic terrorism on you. That's what fills the coffers of our state. That's how we can enjoy, driving around in all these souped up cruisers. That's why we got 2 MRAPs back at the police station, which he has under his right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Under this constitutional guarantee, one may therefore, under normal conditions, travel at his inclination along the public highways or public places, and while conducting himself in an orderly and decent manner, neither interfering with nor disturbing another's rights. And he wasn't. He will be protected. Oh, really? Tell these cops that. This guy wasn't protected by these cops. Not only in his person, but in his safe conduct. There's a couple other ones that just outright say it. The use of the highways for the purpose of travel and transportation is not a mere privilege, says Chicago Motor Coach versus Chicago, but a common and fundamental right of which the public and the individual cannot be rightly deprived. And it goes on and on, case law after case law after case law, saying the exact same thing. It is well-established law that the highways of the state are public property, and their primary and preferred use is for private purposes. Private purposes. Every citizen has an unalienable right to make use of the public highways. Unalienable right? That means nobody can give it to you, and nobody can take it from you, and as a free man, you don't have to ask for permission. So that's why I'm completely for this guy and against the nice, cordial, professional law enforcers, because they're the ones that initiated unjust force and violence on this peaceful person who, according to all indicators, didn't do anything wrong. So I want to know what you guys have to say about that, and then we're going to roll right along to this interaction with Long Island Audits in the post office, where he's searching for poster 7. Here we go. Let me go into the chat room. What do you guys think about that last video? Do you think the cops were well within their right to hassle and harass this guy just because he didn't have a permission slip from the government to take his property on the public roadways? A shooting in Alabama? Have not heard about the shooting in Alabama. Murdoch versus Pennsylvania. Those things are interesting. But what's interesting to me also is, like, which law do you follow? These laws right here that the Supreme Court of the United States laid down, or the contradictory laws that actually speak against these Supreme Court rulings? That's what I can't stand about rule of laws. There's a contradiction somewhere, and which one do you follow? Which one are you going to get hammered for if you break it, when another one said, well, you shouldn't have got hammered for that? I mean, I would think that 18 U.S.C. 242 would cover a whole bunch of transgressions and eliminate qualified immunity, or Terry v. Ohio, whichever one you think is the greatest, but it doesn't. It's in their own federal code, guys. If you read the federal code, let me just pull that up. Shapiro versus Thomas. Yeah, just lick a little. Yeah, exactly. Let me see if I can just pull this up. I want to refresh our memories on this. It's 18 USC 242. There's 18 USC 241 and then 242. 241 is conspiracy against rights, and 18 USC 242 is deprivation of rights under color of law. But I'm not going to read the whole thing, even though it's pretty short. Deprivation of rights under color of law. Whoever, that includes badged law enforcers under the color of any law, statute, ordinance, regulation, or custom willfully subject to any person in any state, territory, commonwealth, possession, or district to the deprivation of any rights, privileges, or immunities secured or protected by the Constitution or laws of the United States, or to different punishments, pains, or penalties, shall be imprisoned for any term of years or both, or may be sentenced to. That's how serious this is. So when the Supreme Court comes along and equates taking your property, which has wheels and a motor, from point A to point B on the public roadways, and they identify that as an unalienable right and is in accordance with your life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, and property. And then these guys come along and do the exact opposite of what this says right here, or actually fall in the category of violating this and depriving people of the rights under their color of their own laws. They show that they don't, not only do they not care about you, they don't care about humanity, they don't care about harassing and collecting from you, they don't even care about their own laws. And that's what I have a problem with the rule of law and this social contract. What about all the contradictions that are going to rise in that? Which one do you follow? Because there are contradictions. You know how many laws or how many cases have the Supreme Court made judgments on? How many cases in the history of the United States, how many cases have there been? So many contradictions and inconsistencies and tyrannies pouring out of that paperwork. All right, here we go. We're at the main event here. This is Long Island Audits. Where was this? This is on June 12th, 2022. I was peacefully exercising my First Amendment rights in the United States Post Office located in Hagerstown, Maryland. So he's in Hagerstown, Maryland. Here we go.
Regulations governing conduct on postal property, also known as Poster 7.
Are you taking pictures, hon?
I'm sorry?
Are you taking pictures?
I'm taking pictures and video, yeah.
Okay, stop. It's not allowed in here.
I just want to say, it is amazing how threatened people can be that video cameras are guys, everybody's got a video camera. How have people become so allergic to video cameras? And you're going to see Long Island Audits going to pan up and to the left, and you're going to see one video camera, and then there's another video camera, another video camera. So the federal employees, think it's okay for them to take constant streaming video of you, but as soon as you start rolling a camera, oh, they got a serious problem. Such hypocrisy.
I work at the post office. It's not allowed in here.
Why isn't it allowed?
Because it's a security issue.
Well, calm down now.
Okay.
Calm down.
Okay.
There's no need to get upset.
Okay, but
Okay?
because of security, yes.
There
you
is no
can.
security.
That is supposed to be an intimidation factor. It's federal law. It's not just a law, it's federal law. If we add federal to it, oh, it's super scary now. Federal law. Do you realize what just happened to you, buddy? You didn't just break the law. You broke federal law. Poster 7 probably has something else to say about that.
What security? There's no federal
Steve?
law.
Hold on.
Are
Please
you
turn your camera
are you
off.
familiar with the rules and
Please turn your camera
Are you
off.
familiar with the rules and regulations
I like what Brady said here. Thanks for that super chat, man. We need Freedom Fridays where we drive without tags in large groups.
governing conduct on postal property? Guess you're not. I see a camera right here. Their cameras don't seem to be a problem. Excuse me, sir?
We have people's personal information and everything else that you're not entitled to.
Look, We have people's personal information that you're not entitled to. Camera. There was a camera over here on the left-hand side. Camera right here. There was a camera over here. So they got cameras on the outside recording you going in. They got cameras on the inside recording all of your actions, taking your ID out. They got cameras everywhere. But now all of a sudden they're alarmed about an additional camera in the pool of cameras that they already have going within this post office. It's off the hook.
When you're doing video.
I'm not getting anybody's personal information.
Well, you have no idea what we have available here. I'm going to ask you to stop. I ask you one more time to stop, or we'll have to call the authorities.
Call the authorities.
Why would you do that?
I'm going to ask you one more time. Please stop video.
What's your name, sir?
All right.
What's your name, sir? So I can hold you.
It's Homeland Security.
Homeland Security?
Yeah, it's literally borderline considered a terrorist act.
A terror.
Look, here's a camera here. I just want to point this out. Camera here. There's a camera over here and a camera over at the other place. There's cameras all over the place recording. The federal government is recording you, but the federal government is saying you can't record us. And we're concerned about the safety of our clientele who come through the door. Really, if you're safety, then why don't you turn your own cameras off? And then you know what the reaction is going to be? We're going to call the authorities who are going to come in and bring more cameras. They're going to have their body cameras. We don't have a problem them recording and possibly getting some, private information on their recordings, but we have a problem with you because we don't trust you. It's crazy. And somebody made a comment. I don't know who did it. I'm sorry about it. But somebody said, I don't think anybody's asked him to leave. Yeah, they said they only asked him to stop recording, never to leave. Let's see. That would be interesting if none of the postal workers asked Long Island Audits, Sean, to leave. That would be very interesting.
It's borderline a terrorist act to record in a post office.
That's insane.
Is this real life?
I know.
Borderline a terrorist.
Look. Another camera. There's a camera in this corner, camera in the other corner. So far we've counted 5 cameras, 3 behind the counter, or 2 behind the counter, 1 on the other side of the counter, and then 2 in these corners right here. That's total of 5.
Act. Wow.
Look at that.
Are they committing terrorism by having their cameras everywhere?
Good point.
That's ridiculous. The passport lady over here was extremely rude. And you know what? Guys? They don't have any, I haven't seen Poster 7, the rules and regulations governing conduct on postal property, anywhere in this post office, which makes total sense because they're ignorant of their own rules and regulations.
Another thing that's interesting to me is that nobody's alarmed by a guy with a camera until the postal workers start acting like they're alarmed. Now, all of a sudden, everybody's on the bandwagon. Yeah, I don't want my stuff recorded. Yeah. And then it's the lemming herd mentality forming against the guy who's literally doing nothing wrong. How many times do people have to say there's no expectation of privacy in public? How many times do people have to quote some Supreme Court case where it's perfectly fine to be able to record in federal buildings?
Maybe if they had them posted, maybe if they studied them, they would understand.
I like how calm Sean is being. He's always super calm.
Ma'am, no one's videoing anybody.
I don't want to be on your video.
Ma'am, but you're trying to cause a disturbance. Please.
You're causing a disturbance.
No, I'm not.
I don't want to be on your video, but I do want to be on the federal government's video. I don't mind being on their video. Of course, we can trust the federal government, right?
You weren't on the video until you put yourself in the video, ma'am. Okay, you weren't on the video until you put yourself on the video.
That's another point.
You're in public, man.
It's like nobody would have even paid attention to this lady right here if she hadn't have said, I don't want to be on your video. Well, now all of a sudden, because you said you didn't want to be on my video and you put your face in front of my video, you're going to be on my video. Larger than life. Les Hicks says, just got to love the ignorance of public tyrants. Ignorance which chooses to remain so. Woman closing door in Long Island Audits face and cashiers equals stupid. You're not allowed
He's wrong.
to.
He's wrong.
You're videoing me. I don't want to be videoed.
So stop making contact with me then. What's the issue?
She can't stop.
Okay. I think you are the issue, ma'am. I'm going to jail?
Wow. Because you have a camera out and because you're recording people in a public place, we want you to be thrown into a rape cage. You're going into a rape cage. Oh, yeah. No, you didn't harm anybody. You didn't threaten to harm anybody. You may have made them feel uncomfortable because they're highly ignorant and self-contradictory. But we want you to go into a rape cage because you're doing something that the post office is actually doing to us right now, and that's recording us.
He's one of those guys. Got to try to do this whole thing.
I don't want to video me, and he is.
You're in public. You're in public. No one's going to jail, ma'am. You're in public. There's no expectation of privacy in public.
You can't video me in the post office.
You're in public, ma'am.
He just said it.
You're in public. He's wrong.
Actually, we got to stop saying there's no expectation of privacy in public, because obviously there is an expectation. It's an unwarranted expectation. It's an unreasonable expectation. But obviously, for the general public, there's an expectation to be private while you're out in public.
He's wrong. He's wrong. He's wrong.
Yep, he is wrong.
What's wrong with this lady? Jesus. You see, what she was trying to do is she's trying to incite some sort of
response.
She's trying to incite other patrons at the post office to, oh, he's recording you. He doesn't have permission to record you.
She basically wants everybody to engage in, well, maybe subconsciously. But when people do that kind of stuff and start becoming vocal, I don't want you recording me. It's almost like a spark for mass psychosis. Then all the other lemmings, which I'm thankful that a lot of them, I didn't see anybody else do that, get freaked out about it, except for that one lady. But generally what happens, it does start sparking this mass psychosis where it's like, recording? Somebody's recording me? Oh my gosh, this is horrible. This guy needs to be caged. Put him out of his misery. Have somebody gun him down.
Luckily, that woman that she was talking to didn't feed into her BS. No poster 7. Rules and regulations. Anywhere. See if we can speak to the postmaster or supervisor.
Think about the irony and the hypocrisy and the lunacy of this. The federal government goes out of their way to create this poster 7 rules governing the conduct and the actions of people who are in the post office. One of those includes you got the right to record. It's no problem, whatever. And then they go against, diametrically opposed to the very rules that they wrote down. Why are they writing rules down that they're not going to pay attention to, that they're going to ignore, that they don't care about?
How you doing?
I'm well.
I need to speak to the postmaster or a supervisor.
Like a baby.
I've been told you can just wait for the police and you can talk to them before you.
I can wait for the police? Yeah, I would prefer to speak to a supervisor. Are you a supervisor?
I'm not.
You're not a supervisor?
No.
So a supervisor is unwilling, or the postmaster is unwilling to speak to me?
You can wait for the police to come. They've been contacted.
Wait for the police. Okay. All right.
Wait for the police. Wait for men with guns to bring more cameras in here. That's going to freak us out. Oh, that's right. They won't freak you out because it's the police who are recording private things in public. Oh, I got it. That's okay. That's perfectly okay. I was hoping Sean would pull an Amagansett Press and go, well, I just need to buy a book of stamps.
Well, after they leave, I'll be wanting to speak to the supervisor or postmaster.
Oh, if he just bought a stamp.
I mean, I guess they could just hide out in the back, but it doesn't make any sense. Where's the customer service?
Hey, sir.
Here we go.
Hi.
Complaint. The post office would like you to leave.
Hi, how are you?
Perfectly wonderful today. I'm Officer Devers. Officer Krause is coming through the door. You're being audio and video recorded for evidentiary purposes.
Wait, you're being, wait a second. I have an expectation of privacy in public, so I can't be recorded. And that would have been so great. Wait a second. You're going to record me in a public place? Don't I have an expectation of privacy in public? And then she could go, well, no, you don't. That'd be great. So you could tell how she came up all authoritative. She's used to people just at the drop of a hat, just submitting to her tyranny.
I'm sorry, can you just say your name and your badge number?
I can tell you I'm Officer Devers. This is Officer Krause. And I appreciate your videotaping everything. But
Wait, you appreciate? Oh, wait a second. You appreciate me videotaping in a public building, a federal building. They don't appreciate it, but you do. Okay, so whose word is going to win the day here? That's an interesting thing too that I didn't catch the first time I watched this.
The post office called and said they've asked you to leave. So they would like you to leave. This is their property, and so they have every right to ask you to leave.
Their property.
So
What? Can I just get your badge number? Why can't I get your badge number?
It's 3126.
Okay, thank you.
So can you please leave?
Do you understand what department are you with?
I'm with the Hagerstown City Police Department. Same city you're in.
Oh, okay.
I assume you know that.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you could do me a favor and please leave, that'd be great.
Okay, can you call a supervisor because you have no jurisdiction on this property? You do not. I'm telling you. Before you make a mistake, you should call your supervisor.
Knowledge is power here. Knowledge is
This
power.
is federal property.
Their property. Yeah, exactly. What's up, Nightcrawler?
So, sir, who do I have the luxury of talking with today?
Oh, my name is Sean.
Sean what?
Just Sean.
No, you don't have a last name?
It's just Sean.
So no one gave you a surname when you were born?
Oh.
It's just Sean, ma'am.
It's just Sean. So you want to know my information, but you don't want to share yours with me?
Well, you're technically the public servant here, man.
What part of you're a public servant and I'm not do you not understand? Les Hicks says tyrants work from feelings and opinions. Laws and rules are irrelevant to them. A lot of them, yeah. Unless they work in their favor and against the public that they're supposed to be protecting and serving. If it's a law that lends itself to harassing and collecting, they'll uphold that law. This you can tell the authoritative approach and air that these people give off.
And not me.
Power corrupts.
How you doing today, sir? Can I get your name and badge number, please?
Look at this. Trying to interact with a fellow human being and he's just being like a child.
Sir? Can I get your name and badge number, please, sir?
I'm busy right now.
Can I just get your name and badge number and I can walk in?
3834.
Okay.
We'll deal with you in a minute.
What an attitude. What an ego. Look at this guy's face. Complete disdain for the public. Turning his body away from a member of the public he's supposed to be protecting and serving. Not wanting to answer questions. It's like pulling teeth with these guys.
3834.
Okay.
All right, we'll deal with you in a minute.
Great.
Big Elvis says she's a handsome woman.
Officer. You're going to shut the post office down for what?
They're shutting down the post office, guys. Hey, children, we're going to shut the post office down because we're going to keep you real safe. This dangerous man, this dangerous bad man with a camera is questioning our authority and things might not go well for him. So you need to leave.
If you would look at the rules and regulations governing conduct on postal property, poster 7, it will explain to you exactly that I have the permission to do what I'm doing. And the First Amendment of the United States Constitution as well.
I love how calm he's being, man.
Ma'am, can you please call a supervisor?
Sir, I've already done that.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Actually, I think I've called 3.
Three
that you
supervisors.
can have 3 supervisors to
Great.
work through your issues today.
Okay,
Absolutely.
I don't have any issues. I think the people at the... Why would you close down the post office?
Huh?
Why would you close down the post office?
Well, we're just making sure that we make sure you have privacy to deal with your issues so the rest of the world isn't privy
Yeah,
to
I don't
them.
have any issues.
Okay,
I'm okay.
well, I'm glad. I'm glad.
I'm okay.
McTribe says, check your Cash App. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thanks for that. Thanks for that donation.
Did you not know that you don't have jurisdiction on federal property?
Oh, they don't like to be told that. They don't like to be told that. It's like jurisdiction. I got jurisdiction anywhere I want to, buddy. You see this badge right here? It's like Barney Fife. They're just so consumed with themselves. Their egos are so inflated and they get bruised and damaged so easily. They do not like to be told that they don't have authority in a certain place because, buddy, in their heart, in their mind, yes, we do. Oh, you don't tell me what to do. I'm the authority here. I'm the one in charge. Here's the deal. This is going to go one of two ways, and both ways are going to go my way.
You know, that's all. And I'm not doing anything illegal.
They know he's not. They know he's not.
Anyway.
Locking up the post office. That's the first
Sir,
I've seen.
Can you just tell your supervisor, since they don't want to speak to me, can you just let them know to look up Poster 7, the rules and regulations governing conduct on postal property? It's a federal law. I'm being serious. I'm trying to be genuine with you.
WCMW says, sorry, can't get your mail. Why not? A guy with the cameras in here. Oh my gosh, it's horrible. It's like a terrorist threat right here in the post office.
Well,
It's a federal law.
I'm
That,
not sure you're being genuine when people have asked you to stop filming them.
but sir, I have the right to film for news
Why
purposes.
would you?
Because I have the right. Why else would anybody exercise their rights? Because they have the right to.
I'm firmly in favor of people having the rights.
Yeah, we have a right. I
As long
wasn't.
as you don't infringe on other people's rights.
Was I filming anybody directly? Was I doing anything when I walked in?
There are people that said you were, and they actually said they asked you to stop. They did. They came.
When you told me, when you saw me filming, what was I filming, sir?
See, here's the deal. This is what I like about a voluntary society. If you, in the privacy of your own home, don't want to be recorded, nobody's allowed to come in there. But if you willingly, voluntarily step outside of your house, you're already saying, okay, I voluntarily subject myself to the public space, which means I'm subjecting myself, unless you want to wear a disguise and a hood and not have your face be seen. And that's your option too. You can go, completely covered up, cover your entire body, change your gait so that they don't know it's you. Pretend like you're limping or whatever. But as soon as you walk into a public space, you basically give up your right to privacy while you choose voluntarily to be in public. So your right can't be infringed on as long as nobody's harming you, threatening to harm you, or stealing your stuff. Your right can't be infringed upon because you voluntarily gave up your right to be private because obviously you're in public. This is something that's so fundamental that it's amazing to me. It's astonishing that people just don't get it. It doesn't register.
You were filming the walls, and
Okay.
then you came up front. Where,
Sir, are you leaving? You were told to leave. Are you leaving?
Here we go.
Are you going to arrest me if I don't leave?
Yes.
Can I speak to a supervisor, please?
You're under arrest.
There we go. There we go.
I was ready to leave. You had no.
He didn't even say, no, I'm not going to leave. Did he? I don't think so. He just said, can I speak to a supervisor? Let's watch the initiation of force again.
up front. Where,
Sir, are you leaving? You were told to leave. Are you leaving?
Are you going to arrest me if I don't leave?
Yes.
Can I speak to a supervisor, please?
You're under arrest.
He never said that he wasn't going to leave.
I was
Good.
ready to leave. You had no jurisdiction.
Well
on this
played,
property.
Sean. Well played.
So as you just saw, I was unlawfully arrested and my constitutional rights were violated by the.
I got to say, that was well played. He was, he was told to, wait a second. Brian McNair says no, wrong. He was told to stay. He was told to stay. It's conflicting though. They'll tell you to stay and then they'll tell you to leave and they'll say they told you to leave. But what's good is he never said that he wasn't going to leave. He just said, are you going to arrest me if I don't leave? Can I speak to your supervisor? That was it. What talk about solid ground to stand on.
Hagerstown Police Department right here in Maryland. I'm going to try and make this as quick as possible because I will be going live in the coming days to explain everything in more detail.
Listen to what they did
as
to him.
well as share the police report with all of you and any discovery or court documents that I may receive. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you're subscribed and make sure you have notifications turned on so you do not miss it. Now that being said, what everybody wants to know, what happened after the camera got cut off and what was I ultimately charged with? So the arresting officers, Devers.
This is probably why, if you're going to go into a post office, it would probably be smart to back into a parking space or have a reverse dash cam, have a front facing and a rear vehicle cam at the front door so that you can have that rolling in case something like this happens. Have a body cam, which would be a secondary camera, and then the camera in your hand. So when they turn off the camera that's here, you can have a body cam that's also rolling, maybe for a couple seconds, maybe for a couple minutes afterward till they can get to it, so that you can get this stuff on film. Because here's the deal. That's appropriate. Here's the deal. When a cop comes in and they've got body cameras on, even if you do a FOIA request, they could tie that up for months. They could tie that up for years. And then when you get to it, it could be so highly redacted, they cut out all the stuff that's incriminating against them.
And Kraus, two complete and utter tyrants, ripped the camera out of my hand, placed me in handcuffs, and put them on so tight that it cut off the circulation to my hands.
That's messed up.
When I complained, their response was, well, they're not built for comfort. But it gets worse.
Can't wait to. I'm sure that Sean has FOIA requested those body cams. That would be interesting. That would be interesting.
It's worse. They hotboxed me, which means that they put me in the back of their cruiser on an 85-degree day.
That's so messed up.
With all the windows rolled up and the car turned off. I could barely breathe. I was screaming and banging on the door trying to get them to turn the car on. And when they finally did, Officer Devers tells me, "I don't take orders from you." Really, Officer Devers? A little compassion? That's giving you orders? Just asking for a little humanity from your cruel and unusual punishment? Ridiculous. I was then transported to the Washington County Jail. I actually just left the Washington County Jail. I was there for 4 hours in a cell. I got fingerprinted. My property was inventoried.
Treating a guy like a criminal who is operating within the parameters of postal rules. Operating within the parameters of known Supreme Court case law that nobody's got an expectation of privacy in a public place. Doing absolutely nothing wrong. Fingerprinted. Tortured with the handcuffs. Thrown into the back of a cruiser with the windows rolled up and no air conditioning running on an 85-degree day. That is truly cruel and unusual. Guys, take a second right now to like this video if you like it. There's 650-something people in here and 381 likes. Let's get up to 500 likes before the end of the video. But I want to hear more of this because I think I pretty much cut it off right here and I wanted to watch the rest of it with you.
I saw a bail commissioner and I was later released on my own recognizances. I was ultimately charged with criminal trespassing, even though if you watch the video, the postmaster never ordered me to leave.
Wow.
They told me to stop recording or they'll call the police. So I don't know where they get criminal trespassing from. They also charged me with failure to obey, because God forbid we do not obey our own public servants. Failure to obey and criminal trespassing is what I was charged with. Completely ridiculous. No one ordered me to leave. Tyrant Kraus said, "Are you going to leave?" I said, "Are you going to arrest me if I don't?" He said, "Yes." And I said, "Well, can I speak to a supervisor?" And placed me in handcuffs.
Those cops are just walking liabilities, man. Walking liabilities. Committing criminal activity in the name of protecting and serving doesn't give you a pass.
But it doesn't matter about the facts of the case. It doesn't matter that they didn't have any lawful authority to trespass me from public when I'm engaging in a constitutionally protected activity. None of that matters. Because if you hear me on the video, I tried to explain to them they have no jurisdiction at that particular post office. For those of you familiar with my Waterbury, Connecticut post office case, the charges were dismissed. I submitted a motion to dismiss based on subject matter.
The only says, "Brian, you're just bending laws for entertainment, dude. Dude, that you had no reason to be in there with that camera. Do you really need a reason to be somewhere? Is it the Bill of Rights or is it the Bill of Reasons? Do you have a right to record anything that your eyes can see in a public place? Do you have a right to do that? Is that a privilege granted to you by government, or is it a right that each and every one of us has? It's like when you let's say before cameras even existed, do you have the right to look around you in a public place? What if somebody goes, "You're looking in my direction"? It's like, well, don't be in my direction. I mean, what's the deal? That's a hilarious comment right there. You're just bending laws for entertainment, dude. Had no reason to be in there with that camera. You don't need a reason. It's like people who go, people who say, "Oh, look at this." I think we're being trolled. I hope he gets convicted and gets a hefty fine. That's completely immoral. A hefty fine for what? Who was damaged? Who was Sean's victim? The one. Who was Sean's victim? I hate feeding the trolls, and I hate myself for having done it. But here I am. I'm already in. Can't back out now. Who was victimized by Sean? Who was victimized by his camera? If Sean was victimizing people in the post office with his camera, then that has to also mean that the federal government And the federal post office was victimizing everybody and victimizes everybody every day with their cameras, their body cameras, their dash cameras, their security and surveillance equipment. The NSA surveillance apparatus are constantly committing terrorist acts against us. To say you have to be a garbage pail human being to say that you hope Sean gets convicted because he had a camera recording in a public place, which he has a perfect right to do. So there you go. I just fed the trolls. Hope you rest well tonight with a full belly.
Jurisdiction, and the judge sided with me, issuing a decision.
I would say one more thing. It reminds me of the people who go, "You don't need. What do you need an AR-15 for? What do you need an AK-47 for? What do you need a 30-round clip? It's not a clip. It's a magazine. Why do you need a 30-round magazine?" It's like, it's none of your business. None of your business why I'm recording. None of your business what reason he has for being in a post office recording. None of your business. It is my business if he's recording me. Then get yourself out of the shot. Don't make a big deal and nobody will ever notice you. They don't care about people in public places. They don't look, like if you take a street shot where people are walking on waiting for a bus or something like that, nobody's going to go, "Oh, I wonder who that person is. Wonder who that person is." But if that person walks up to the camera and says, "I don't want you recording me," and starts acting like a Karen, guess what? They get some press that they just said that they didn't want simply because they said they didn't want it. Interesting. Why do you have an AR-15? None of your business. Why do you have a high-capacity magazine or 30-round magazine? None of your business. Why are you recording in public? None of your business.
That stated that any United States post office that was built before 1940, the federal government has exclusive jurisdiction. Meaning,
hefty fine. I know. I wouldn't want to be that guy's neighbor. Can you imagine being the guy's neighbor who just posted and the flat Sabbath says hefty fine, LOL. Can you imagine being that guy's neighbor? That's the guy who would tell on you for not taking your trash barrel, after it was emptied by the trash pickup. He's the guy that would, try to get you in trouble for anything. He would be the Karen, he or she, I don't know if it is. He or she would be the Karen who would melt in a puddle like a snowflake on a summer day and try to get you into trouble. I just can't think of anything more garbage than saying that this guy needs a hefty fine and needs to be locked up because he had a camera rolling in a public place.
That local law enforcement have zero authority on that property. And I tried to explain this to them, but they would not listen.
And patiently, I might add.
So these charges will get dropped. If the past is any indicator, it will be a long and hard fight, but I'm up for it because I know I have we the people behind me. We can do it together.
It's not even about we the people. You have morality behind you. You're standing on the highest ground that you could possibly stand on. That's why I don't understand why people are rejecting voluntarism and anarchy. It is the highest moral ground. It's saying any interaction I have with my fellow human beings is going to be a voluntary interaction. It'll be mutually consensual. I'm never going to force somebody to do something that they don't want to do. I'm never going to take somebody's property away from them. I'm never going to damage them or harm them physically in any way. That's what voluntarism is. And anarchy is, I don't want a ruler for me, and I will never vote for a ruler for you to initiate unjust force and violence against you who thinks they have a higher claim over your life and property than you. I'll just never do it because it's wrong. It's evil. Anything other than anarchy / voluntarism is statism, and statism is evil. I don't care what you call it. I don't care how you shroud it. But if you're going to take tax cattle money from anybody, you're saying, I'm going to force somebody to pay for something because I think that thing would be good for them. Even if it would be good for them. Let's say I live next door to a family that has a little boy, little Jimmy, who can't walk. And little Jimmy and the family doesn't have money for crutches. Is it okay for them to steal money from me to buy those crutches? Getting money for the crutches, that's a good thing. Buying crutches for little Jimmy is a good thing. What was not a good thing is how you got the money. I don't care how good your program is. If it necessitates you stealing somebody's property in order to fund your good program, it's evil. It's immoral. And how do we know? Because you wouldn't want that done to you. What do you mean I can't opt out? What do you mean you're going to make me pay property taxes, which is going to go to a public school that I don't and would never send my kids to? What do you mean my property taxes have gone up? I want to opt out. What do you mean if I try to opt out, then they're going to foreclose on my home and men with guns are going to come in and force me and my family out of my home? That's how bad statism is. Simply sharing info says, at least he donated some loot, LOL.
I will also be staying here in Hagerstown. They're not running me out of town. I'll be staying here. Tomorrow I'll be going to the police department where I'll be filing official complaints against the tyrants responsible for stealing my freedom, for robbing me of my freedom.
Yeah, and here's the wider scope of this. Sorry, I keep interrupting, but here's the wider scope is that it wasn't just Sean's freedom that was taken. When injustice happens to one man anywhere, and it did, then it happens to all men everywhere. And that's why we got to push back. That's why these videos are so important, because it exposes the tyranny that's actually going on so that people can be informed, so that when this starts happening to them, they can have this knowledge base in their minds because of all these videos that these First Amendment auditors have done. And now you've got the knowledge to be able to push back. Knowledge is that power that you want. The application of that knowledge is the wisdom that you want to bring into this world. That's what makes this world a better place. Transparency and accountability.
I'll be filing official complaints against them, as well as requesting the body camera footage from the incident, because thankfully they were wearing body cameras. So stay tuned to the channel. Again, I will be, as soon as I get the body camera footage, I will post it right here. This, ladies and gentlemen, is uncalled for. Tyranny has no place in our country. None. I will be exhausting all my remedies. I will be going to the FBI here in Maryland to file a civil rights violation complaint, because it is against federal law to do what Officer Devers and Krause did. They should be arrested. I will not let this stand. It is my First Amendment right and your First Amendment right to petition our grievances to our government peacefully. And that's what I plan on doing. And I will hold everyone involved in this situation accountable.
And let me just show you real quick. That falls under 42 USC 1983. It's a civil action for deprivation of rights. So you got 18 USC 242, deprivation of rights under color of law, and you have 42 USC 1983. Every person who under the color of any statute, ordinance, regulation, custom, or usage of any state or territory or the District of Columbia subjects or causes to be subjected any citizen of the United States or other person within the jurisdiction thereof to the deprivation of any rights, privileges, or immunities secured by the Constitution and laws shall be liable to the party injured in an action at law.
You can bet on it. And I will be filing a federal lawsuit. I've already contacted my attorney here in Maryland. He's on the case. We're going to be filing basically the same motion I filed in Waterbury, Connecticut. And, stay tuned to the channel, guys. I'm going to be giving constant updates on what's going on here. I really appreciate you guys. I love you all. As always, let me know what
all right, so that's that right there. I appreciate you guys alerting me to this, because there's so much information out there and you miss so much if you guys don't alert me to some of this stuff that I just, it's not. I like and watch and subscribe to Long Island Audits. Am I subscribed to him on this channel? Let's see. Yeah, I'm subscribed and I got the bell notification. And I'm subscribed to pretty much everybody out there and have hit the bell notification. It's just that, information overload, and then you're busy in your daily life and you're trying to get things done. So you miss things, at least I do. So let me get back to the chat here. 510 likes. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. Hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. And thanks for the support, guys. I really appreciate the super chats. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the dialogue in the chat room. None of us is greater than all of us. Timber says the armed fisherman is going to get railroaded because Google's definition of expedition is more than one person. I'm not familiar with what's going on with. I watched the armed fisherman as well. Good stuff over there. All right, guys. Thanks. Hit the like button before you leave. And that's it from me. That's an hour and 8 minutes. I was trying to get this done in an hour, and I failed miserably. But I appreciate you guys. Take care. If you want to support the channel, Cash App, the links are in the description, and I'll try to I'll put this video right here in the pinned comments. Matter of fact, before I leave the chat, I'm going to go ahead and give you this original video so you can watch it in its entirety. Here's Long Island Audits video that we just watched. Okay, guys, I'm out of here. Thank you for joining. I will see you in the next video. Take care.